Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Gonna do a quick check-in, just pull some cards, see what messages we have from Spirit. There's a lot of chaos right now. There's a lot of confusion energy, a lot of ups and downs. For a little while, we're kind of getting clarity and insight, and then it seemed like it stopped, and it just feels like everything's really all over the place. Nothing really makes sense. We're not really understanding why everything's happening the way it's happening. You might not be feeling like yourself. Your normal routines, habits, thoughts, patterns, and all that stuff maybe doesn't feel like it's here right now, or lessons and things you've learned, or how you were feeling maybe confident or feeling more empowered, or things like that. You might be feeling like you're going backwards in different ways. And things just might be feeling really heavy. I know the energy tonight has been really fucking chaotic, and really heavy, really anxious, and it's just very up and down. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense at all. So, yeah, just make sure you're self-caring. Like, biggest, like, message, to make sure you're taking care of yourself. Ooh, okay. So I'm going to just pull messages and just see what Spirit has for us, okay? I've noticed like a lot of people coming in the last few days too. They're going through like just a lot of like conflict and chaos, and just really just a lot of ups and downs, a lot of just chaos this week. I don't even know how else to say it. We have snake shedding. What I get is a lot of you guys are releasing fears right now. So you're releasing like deeper seated fears. You might be having thoughts that are coming up regarding fears and situations. Some of you guys might be getting some type of insight or clarity on your fears, or like what they actually are versus what you think they are, at like a surface level, stuff like that. They're also saying to me, you might not be getting the clarity you're looking for with some of your situations, and you're in these illusions or this heavy energy for a reason, and it's pushing you guys to break free of certain thoughts, patterns, cycles, shit like that. But they're also saying you might be seeing through illusions with other people. You might be getting clarity and insight with other people. So we got that message months ago. We've been kind of getting that message like trickling in a little bit for the last like few months, especially the last like month or so. So some of this is like old relationships, or kind of people currently in your life, even people you might follow on social media, stuff like that, where you might be kind of getting clarity of true intentions. You might be getting some type of understanding that's going to like liberate you and free you from perceptions and cycles within like relationships with other people. That's all they have for me with that one. So I guess take it if it works for you, if it resonates with you. We got Earth, Home, and Cedar Tree Wisdom. So a lot of what's going on is you're in cycles right now that are helping you come back to who you are at your core, and coming back to your soul energy in connection with your human energy. So really any cycles that you're learning in this lifetime, a lot of them are not necessarily finishing up, but they're really grounding some of the really heavy ones. And it's helping you to come back to center with who you are internally, and helping you connect to your soul more. Some of you might be connecting to like your ancestors more, or past lives more, or having like dreams about it, or having like energy in them kind of coming in and stuff like that, or connecting more to like other like intergalactic energies and stuff. But you might not be feeling like that. Like, they're saying you might not, I looked up 44. You might not be feeling like that in this present moment with everything that's going on, but this is kind of what is going on, or what you're working toward, if it resonates. So thirsty lately. Okay, I'm like, which deck should I pull from? I feel like cards have been just flying out on the top lately. So we got, yeah, Mental Conflict, The Waiting Game. Those came out in the reading I did the other day. All right, let's pull some cards and see what messages you have for us. Do we need guidance with, clarity, understanding, partnerships and alliance? So that card popped before and I didn't pull it, and then it just actually wanted to come out with hope. So I know the reading I just did. Oh, I keep wanting to burp and I can't burp. The reading I just did, the most recent one I did, it's on YouTube. Excuse me. We had a lot of information or things kind of coming up about partnerships and working together. Okay, hold on. The Choose Wisely card, it's a little bit separate than this message, but kind of what they're saying is don't keep worrying that you're making the wrong decision. You're being guided along the way. So you're never going to make a choice that's not like good for you or for your highest good. Like trust in yourself and your decision making, that you do things with more intention, you do things with more clarity, you're doing things more in your soul alignment and your heart center. And like, even though maybe things aren't working out the way your mind wants them to work out, or the way, you know, you want things to work out, they might be still working out that way. You're just not in that energy right now or seeing it right now, because you're working through illusions, but you're learning how to let things be. You're learning how to work through disappointments, work through fears and stuff. So if you're wanting something to come in right now, or you're wanting it to come in a certain way, and it's not, it might be bringing up unresolved feelings or beliefs or emotions that you have that you just don't realize you have. And it's almost like they're saying like a new level of vulnerability within yourself and with others. So there might be some type of vulnerability you're being asked to like be in energetically, or asked to talk about, or whatever it is for your own situation. We got spiritual union, recognition, and reward. And then we got partnerships and alliance and hope. It almost feels like this energy of like two people trying to come together, but it feels like they keep getting blocked. And it's almost like this sense of, I'm trying to think of the word, like when you, they're showing it to me, I just can't think of the word, like kind of when you bow, like you, humbling, there you go, humble. It's almost humbling you in a way to really see through your feelings and emotions. And they're saying the word sensitive. So some of you guys might be feeling really sensitive about the situation, or you might have like really like sensitive emotions about this situation or something kind of related to it. I definitely am seeing like some of the divine masculines being really, they're saying sensitive, like they're really in, but they keep saying the word sensitive. So I don't know why. They've been doing that lately, just randomly saying the same word over and over and over. Like really sensitive and like really in their emotions. Like it feels like they're in this deep emotional energy, and it just looks like they're crying. Kind of the vision they're showing me is it looks like they're really crying, and it's like they're saying the words empathy and compassion. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out like if it's they're feeling empathetic or compassion, or they're needing empathy and compassion from you perhaps. They didn't really give me that, but it more so energetically feels like them needing empathy and compassion and understanding. It feels like they're going through some really hard inner child traumas, and kind of seeing through illusions with their parents and the way they were raised. Maybe they kind of pushed back or acted like they didn't have, you know, rough childhoods or neglect or abuse, or, you know, kind of dysfunction in their childhood. And it feels like they're kind of getting a clearer picture of how things were. And they're showing me how it relates to relationships now. So kind of choices they've made in relationships now, kind of why they've sabotaged or why they've done impulsive things, or kind of like run away from things that they actually like truly want, and like how they kind of like self-sabotage and lie to themselves. So that might be something that's going on, you know, with you or a divine masculine, you know, or something like that. We got partnerships and alliance and hope. I keep getting the masculine channeled to me. It's just almost like this very spacey energy, but this very emotional, like crying energy. With the partnerships and alliance and hope, this feels like almost like the feminine is like holding like down the fort. Like it feels like she's getting hit with the masculine's energy a lot and the emotions a lot, which might be why she's feeling so confused or conflicted. And it's like also she's getting like pulled into old energies with other people, and so she might be really confused and conflicted. But it's almost like this message of like coming back to center and coming back to your intuition and what you know, and like trying to, what are you, like, they're like half saying it to me and then they're stopping. Like, have faith in the universe that things are going to work out for your highest good, even if you can't understand how it's going to happen. Like, even if you've been shown it and it seems like it's never going to happen, oof, like I almost want to cry. Like, it's like still like trusting that it is working out for your highest good, even if you keep facing like disappointment or things aren't working out the way you want them to. Like, you'll get clarity and understand why it needed to happen that way. Yeah, that's all I'm getting with that one. They're giving them some messages to me really weird lately. Whatever. Okay, we got joyous, fun, commitment, and family with hidden motivations on the bottom, which is interesting because when I see the hidden motivation, sometimes this is actually about having kids, and we got the family card with it. And we got victim mentality underneath it with kindred partnership. I'm just curious. This is not for anything. Intuition and manifestation. They're saying like blessings do come when it comes to relationships, like healthy, good relationships, blessings do come. It's like the rainbow after the storm is what they're saying. With the victim mentality and hidden motivations. So a lot of the things that you're getting triggered with or towers with right now, especially things where you're feeling really impatient or there's a lot of like pressure around timing or wanting something within a certain amount of time or not trusting the timing or something like that. They're saying, one, trust your intuition, but two, it's actually giving you an opportunity to see things at a deeper level of how you really feel about situations and what you really desire, areas where you're maybe not seeing your feelings clearly or understanding them. You guys might also be getting symbols or animals at this time, even if you don't understand it right now. Like, you will understand it and get clarity on it, whether it's songs, like specific songs, specific movies, or animals or symbols. Like, you'll understand it. Like, it feels like you guys have been getting the same ones on and off for the last few years. It's going to all connect. There's all of these little things that keep going on. They're saying the word adjacent. All of these little things like going on are all connected to each other. You just can't see how they're connected yet. We got joyous, fun, commitment, and family. A lot of kid energy here. If you notice, the bottom card and then two of these out of three are all kids. So even though it says joy is fun, I don't get that. Like, what I'm actually getting is a lot of you guys are seeing childhood wounds and traumas. And kind of how I said with the masculine and how it relates to your relationships now, where you invest your energy into people and situations. A lot of you, this is around relationships and your relationship with your family. So definitely this has the divine masculine written all over it. It's kind of what I was just talking about before that they were channeling to me. But this is more so like them kind of coming into their masculine like truth and their energy, seeing what their desires really are, but also not just the masculines. It's also those repressed childhood traumas, those repressed childhood connections and conditioning and feelings, and how we continually connect to those family issues in cycles. So a lot of the cycles that you're seeing clearly right now, or you will be seeing clearly, relate to your family conditioning and trauma. And I know we kind of always get messages like that, but it's in a different way than you're used to seeing it. Like, you're going to see it at a deeper level. Like, you know, we think we can't go any deeper with some of the spirit stuff. And like, we just seem to keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And, you know, I don't really have clarity on shit right now, if I'm going to be honest. I'm actually probably the most confused in my life right now about everything. I don't know. My intuition, my spiritual guidance for myself is like completely fucking blocked. But I do know that when stuff is going on right now, I'm kind of like going into like, what am I actually feeling versus what am I telling myself I'm feeling? And I'm getting to know myself, I think, at a different level. Like, the fears that I have are not the fears I think they are. like what the actual fears are. And a lot of that relates to like your childhood. So some of you guys are seeing like where you're still stuck in those cycles, or you're going to be seeing it, and you're going to be asked to make like a commitment to yourself. So for some of you guys, you might have like a decision coming up where you're kind of being asked by yourself, or spirit's kind of guiding you, like what is it you really want, or what do you want to do, which we've been kind of getting in the readings more recently. And it's like making the commitment and sticking to it and stop running away from it. Like if you decide this is really what you want, then stop running away from it, like regardless of what you're seeing. Like if you know what's what you truly want, then trust the fucking process and know that you're being guided the right way. We got the burden card. Ooh, she's all this flip. Know that you're being guided in the right direction at all times. We got the burden and clinging to the past with the Lovers. So every single deck we're pulling from, we're getting the Kinder Partnership, Spiritual Union, the Lovers card. Damn. I mean, I'm not fucking surprised at all. With this receptivity in the Lotus, some of you guys are not really open and being vulnerable with yourself. You're not really being open, honest, and vulnerable with yourself. What is the fear with your own emotions? Like, that's what they're saying is like, what is the fear with your own emotions and being honest with yourself, right? You might have a hard time being vulnerable and honest with other people, but like why you're being disingenuous and like dishonest with yourself. Like if you know you feel a certain way, that's okay. Like it's okay to feel whatever you feel, even if you know it's not the truth. It's still valid and it's still okay to feel. And like, I've talked about this so many times, but it's like, sometimes you're feeling things in the present moment because it's a safe place for you to feel things from the past. So things are triggering it that are familiar to you from the past. Like something basically, hold on, let me put this down because, you know, I got to talk with my fucking hands. So it's like something's happening now and is triggering you now, right? And you know that what you're feeling and you're thinking isn't necessarily accurate or the truth to what your understanding is, to the highest level of understanding you have at the moment. But process those feelings and honor those feelings. Those that trigger might relate to something that happened, you know, when you're like fucking 5, when you were 7 years old, but you didn't have the capability or capacity or the, you know, internal maturity, emotional maturity to deal with it at that time. So it's being triggered now with this situation in a safe spot where you have that emotional maturity to be able to deal with it and see it for what it is. So process what you're feeling. Like stop lying to yourself. You don't always have to jump into shit, or like, I think it's part of the conditioning that we're in where we feel like we have to jump to a decision the second we have an emotion or feeling. We feel like we have to respond to something immediately. We feel like we have to make a decision immediately, or we have to like, as soon as we know something or we have clarity, we're like, we have to do something about this. You don't always have to do that. If you're not ready to make that choice, that's okay. But it's like, be honest with yourself. Like lying to yourself is not helping you. All it's creating is distrust and like a lack of safety within your decision-making and yourself. Like think about every time you're lying to yourself, you're losing trust with who you are. You know what I mean? So we got the Master in Silence. I think it's really interesting how we've got both cards with full moons. So the Master card, what I'm getting is the masculine is really grounding his roots with who he is and getting a lot of spiritual clarity and guidance. It almost feels like it might be very overstimulating and overwhelming for them right now. They're getting a lot of spiritual insight and they're actually like opening up to it and trusting. So the feminine, it feels like, is actually getting less spiritual insight right now and is learning how to calm herself in storms. She is connecting, but there's not really clarity with the connection. So, excuse me, even if you have spiritual gifts, this isn't just for the feminine, but I am getting this mostly for the feminine. Even if you have spiritual gifts, they might not feel very clear right now. It's almost like you're clearing this sludgy energy, like from your third eye and these areas where you didn't trust yourself and your intuition. You also might be feeling other people, especially if there's a masculine you're involved with, their energy, but also some of your family conditioning. And a lot of you guys are like severing cords right now. So as you're doing that, you might be getting hit with other people's energy that you have cords connected with. and you're like hearing their thoughts and feeling their stuff too. So it's like a fucking Mod Podge of like just shit right now. So I mean, that almost makes me feel a little bit better to understand what the fuck is going on. Because normally I like, even if I can't understand it, I'm like chill. And I feel like internally, it's been like so bad. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck any of this is. And I don't even feel like myself. So like in and out, I'll come back into myself for like a minute. And I'm like, God, this feels good. And I'll get like a little bit of insight if I'm supposed to. And then it's gone again. I'm like, motherfucker. Anyway, we got the burden, clinging to the past, the lovers, which wanted to fall out. They want to put the lovers separate. With the burden and clinging to the past, this is kind of what I already said. This is like a lot of you guys holding on to family issues and things that like some of you guys, it's like you're really holding on to things that were said to you and you're not letting them go. And some of you, this involves a relationship you're in or you want to be in, or some of you, it's like divine counterpart relationships. Some of you, it's not just, some of you, it might be like exes or people that said things to you that were hurtful or did things that were really hurtful or manipulative or mean. And I'm going to tell you guys something too, but it's like you've got to let go of the past and stop thinking the past is always going to repeat itself. Like, yeah, sometimes shit does come back around, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be in the same cycle. And there's something deeper with that. So when you're having those fears of the past kind of come back up, look at the underlying issue or the underlying fear with it, because it's not always what you think it is. But just, like, try to release anything that's like weighing you down and like holding you back. Like anything that people told you should or shouldn't do mostly. Or like a lot of this feels like confidence, self-esteem stuff, self-worth stuff, self-image, things like that. Some of you, it's definitely relationship stuff or career stuff. Like some of you, it's like maybe you want a relationship with somebody, but then your friends or other people are like, you shouldn't date them, or this is what's wrong with them, or something like that, even though you know you actually want to date them and they're probably good for you. But you might have like fears because of what other people have said to you. And in relation to that, because I got this, like, share this, in relation to that, trust what the fuck you know, because here's the thing. Not everybody is like honest. Not everybody has good intentions. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier with like getting the clarity on people and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I actually talked about it, but getting clarity and stuff like that on people. And I had a conversation with somebody today and I was asking, because Spirit was asking me to ask them about like the different levels of like narcissism and like, and I asked her, which like, duh, I don't know how the fuck it didn't click for me. Like, hello, I have like a psychology degree and I know about this shit. Like I have a whole book on it. Like people who intentionally enter relationships with you to play games with you and manipulate you. And she's like, yeah, that's like antisocial, like personality disorder. And I was like, it like clicks. And I was just like, oh my God, that's why they have no empathy or remorse. And if you think about it, like those type of relationships, they literally lack empathy for everybody. Like they just have no remorse. But then we're talking about like narcissism and different levels of narcissism and stuff like that. And so it's kind of getting a little bit more insight and like understanding with it. And I was just like, oh, that makes so much sense. And I think a lot of times we don't really fully understand what we're dealing with and we want to think the best of people. It's almost like the people we shouldn't think the best of and we have to make excuses and justify for are usually the really shitty ones, the ones where we're like, oh this, when they're actually not that way. And then like the ones that are that way, it's almost like we do the opposite. Like I don't have full clarity on. Because as I'm saying it, I almost feel like there's like something hidden beneath that for me that I'm going to have to figure out. But it's almost like the fear of being vulnerable and open to good people and honest people. And for some of us is definitely the fear of being loved and accepted and putting our walls down and being vulnerable and not knowing if somebody really genuinely feels that way about you. because in your past you haven't received that, you know what I'm saying, or you've dealt with people who are manipulative. So I realized my ex-husband's definitely antisocial. I'm like, how the fuck did it not? I knew that before I even started dating him, but I didn't realize that to that degree. But I was actually thinking about it, I was just like, oh motherfucker. And I was like as soon as I was like, oh my God, it literally clicked. I was like, but I wasn't even thinking about him when I asked her. I was thinking about somebody totally fucking different, but it clicked with that too. And I was like, yeah. And I think what happens a lot of times is when we have parents who are manipulative like that, or have narcissistic traits, or narcissistic personality, and then we enter relationships with people who are very like similar or the same, and they play like mental games with you. It's almost because you weren't trusting yourself in those situations and you weren't making choices that were in alignment with you. It's almost scary to believe that people can actually be real and authentic and stuff like that, because we're so used to dealing with people that aren't, and we're so scared to be put in those same situations and cycles and repeating the past over and over and over. So there's a lot of times a deeper level to that. But yeah, so a lot of you guys, that these situations from the past and this emotional kind of warfare they're saying, and traumas and stuff might be affecting your relationships now, your romantic relationship. It could be friendships too, but I get a lot of you, it's romantic relationships, whether you're in one or you want to be in one, or you're kind of like in between, not really sure, like whatever it is for you, that might be what's kind of going on. But Spirit's saying just try to focus on what's in your control and your emotions related to it, to help you kind of get clarity and insight. Okay, we're just going to pull from here, and then I think we're done. Actually, I kind of want to pull from that deck too. Hold on. All right. I was like going to try to do like a 15-minute short reading so you could get it on Instagram, but apparently we are not doing that. So what do you want us to know? Oh, intuition came back out. With relationships, guys, I can't even with this shit. Literally every fucking deck, the relationship cards keep coming out. So we got the humanity card. Show empathy, love, compassion, and kindness. Allow that. No, they don't want me to read that. Doing good for others. So show empathy, love, compassion, and kindness. Doing good for others. This is related to yourself and other people, like being kind and loving, and understanding that a lot of us are in really shitty situations and we're feeling really just not our best and stuff like that. And even if people outwardly seem perfectly fine, they might not be. I know a lot of people think that about me, and I'm just like, oof, I had like a breakdown today at the fucking shop. I was like, yeah, like I'm fine, but I'm not fucking fine. Like, I know everything's gonna be fine. But I don't feel that way at all. Like, I trust, but I also don't trust. And I had a conversation with fucking Spirit like the last 2 days, honestly. And I was just like, you guys are expecting me to trust shit, but you guys like keep throwing all this stuff at me. And like, I was like, I can only trust you to the level that I can trust you at based on what you've actually given me before. And I was like, you cannot expect me to just trust everything. I was like, you got to stop asking me these questions and leave me the fuck alone, because I cannot trust everything you're showing me. Like, especially when you keep showing me shit and then other shit keeps happening and falling through, or you're like, whatever. And I'm like, I know they're not like... A lot of times, I'll just briefly explain that. So visions, I trust them when they give me direct down for myself. Other people, I trust it. Downloads, I trust, shit like that. Well, sometimes what they'll do is they'll kind of say something to me and make it seem a certain way or imply something. Or sometimes what will happen is I'll feel the energy like it's going to happen, and they'll kind of say something with it, but it doesn't happen. And I keep going through these cycles where I keep feeling disappointed that it keeps not showing up. And I'm like, you guys feel like you're dangling the fucking carrot in front of me, and then it keeps not showing up. And I'm sharing this because I know other people go through this too. Maybe not the exact same way. Like some people like will get signs about stuff, or it will feel like things are happening and they're not, or whatever. There is a purpose to that. I don't really totally understand the answer to that because I'm still in that lesson and I don't have full clarity on it. But, you know, like I kind of tell them is just like, you can't expect me to fully trust, and I'm not going to force myself to. I was like, if I have to force myself to trust something, I'm like, it's a lot of energy. And I was like, I'm going to trust it to the degree I can. And that's it. Like, I'm not going to force myself to trust it. You don't need to force yourself to trust anything. Like, I think one of the things we're kind of conditioned to think is like, in order for something to happen for me, I have to fully trust it. That's not fucking true. It's not true. Why are you going to lie to yourself? Like, that's lying to yourself. If you don't really fully trust something, why are you going to lie to yourself and tell yourself you do if you don't? You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that, but whatever. Okay, we got intuition in relationships. I'm just kidding. There's so many shifts and changes in the relationships and stuff to trust your intuition. Like, after I just gave you guys like the whole ass message, it's like, trust your intuition with your relationships. I'm going to read you the bottom of the card, the words they're having me read. You know what is right for you. Don't get outside advice on this situation. Really though, stop listening. Oh, that's where I was going before. Stop listening to other people, because I know I was saying that with the one cards, the burden and shit like that. People lie, people manipulate, and some people don't have your best interest at heart, and they might seem like they do and they fucking don't. And like, I can usually tell when somebody doesn't. Like, my energy gets fucking irritated or gets very uncomfortable, and I kind of freeze and shut down. So I can usually tell when somebody has bad intentions, but not always. So like, we don't always know. Go with what you know and what you feel. Like, if somebody tells you something and it clicks for you and you're just like, oh, holy shit, yeah. But like, try to trust yourself, because if people are channeling, people are speaking from their own experiences, and they're speaking from the limited perception of what information you're giving them and not the truth. Because if you think about it, the way you're perceiving it is what you're telling them. What you're perceiving might not actually be accurate. So you're giving them a very tunnel vision thing that might not be accurate, and expecting them to give you an answer instead of what you actually know because you're in the situation, or instead of waiting until you have the clarity and understanding. It's different if you like channel it, or it's like a channeled message, or spirit's giving you the message, versus like a random ass person giving you a message, like, or a friend. Like, sometimes friends have the worst fucking advice. Like, if I listened to my friend's advice, I would not be doing any of the fucking shit I do right now, if I'm being honest. Like, literally the worst advice, where I've stopped asking people for advice. I'm like, can you just listen to me? Like, most of the time I don't want your advice. Once in a while I will ask for advice, but it's not usually like really imperative situations. It's that I wait for spirit to kind of give me, or for me to kind of figure it out on my own after some time. But yeah, like, it's not to say don't ask for advice, but it's be mindful of what information you're receiving and the source and their intentions. And also be mindful of, are they seeing things clearly? You know, are they seeing things through their own trauma and their own experiences and how they felt in the situations, and they're putting themselves in your shoes too, and applying it even though it doesn't apply. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is what they're saying to me, to tell you. Listen to your inner guidance, have faith in your intuition, work toward trusting yourself more. So I feel like I already said this before. The relationships, 2 hearts joining, soul integration and soulmates, changes in your relationships. There you go. And the 2 of those messages together. Okay. They wanted me to pull those before I pulled these cards. So let's see what we get. I'm going to laugh if we get like the Lovers card in this, but probably won't, just because I said that. So, all right. Final message from spirit. 3 of Ariel. Didn't we just get that the other day? We just got these cards the other day for sure. Just that? Okay. Yeah, these are like the same, almost the same cards that we got the other day. These are in a little bit of a different order, but the Ace of Gabriel, this is, I'm telling you, there's some type of opportunity or something that's coming. Definitely feels like the Divine Feminines is coming in really fucking soon. That's going to be something that's very exciting, very powerful, very magical, very just such an opportunity, such a good opportunity for you, whatever it is. You might not really be able to sense it or see it now, but it's definitely coming for you. We got Page of Michael and 3 of Ariel. And then we got Epiphany and 7 of Gabriel, which I remember definitely pulling these cards in the most recent reading. So with this Page of Michael, I'm actually getting spirit is giving the masculine intuition and wisdom on whatever situation they're in right now. And it definitely feels like this very cloudy energy. It's helping them to see kind of the truth in their situations. And it's helping them open to their emotions and their feminine energy. It's helping them to connect to their passions and helping inspire them. And there might be a feminine they're watching that is helping them feel more empowered, is the word that I'm getting. Feel more empowered and inspired. With the Epiphany and 7 of Gabriel. So Spirit's saying like some of you guys might be blocked from getting like full clarity and information right now. Trust that you're on the right journey. You're making the right choices. Like things are working out for your highest good. Like even if you can't see it, things are still working out for your highest good. And when you do get the clarity, make sure, hold on. They're saying rise above any situations that are coming your way. Even if you're getting hit with different energies or people kind of coming in causing chaos or conflict or drama, like rise above it. Like do not put your energy into fucking any of it. Like clear your energy, clear your energetic field, you know, do some cleansing, stuff like that. Like really just get into like minding your own energy. And they're saying like, trust that you will get the answers you need when you need them. Even if you're feeling like they're not guiding you. You want me to pull from there? Even if you're feeling like they're not guiding you, they're literally like next to you holding your hand and like walking you on the path you're supposed to be. Like you're not making the wrong choice. They're like emphasizing you're not making the wrong choice. Okay. It definitely feels like this fear energy. Like some of you guys are scared of, like something you're being vulnerable with or something new you're trying to do, something like soul heart-centered, and it feels like you guys are worried or you're questioning, am I making the wrong choice, or you know, stuff like that. I want to pull one more. And yeah, but they're saying you are making the right choice. They're guiding you and you got no need to worry on the bottom. I just want to see what the card underneath it was. Ask your angels success, remain positive. So this is just like them saying like, you can ask us for help. We are here for you. Ask your, you know, spiritual team for help. You don't have to be specific. You can just say spiritual team, ancestors, you know, angels, spirit guides, you know, higher powers, ascended masters, whoever you want to, all of them. I do multiples, do a lot of them. And they're just saying that like what you want is going to be a success. What you want is going to work out. Just like honor your emotions and feelings and just remind yourself that it is working out for your benefit, even when you feel like it's not. Like you don't have to be falsely like optimistic. You don't have to be like, oh, everything's great and fine when it's fucking not. You can literally say like shit is falling apart, because it is falling apart, and you might not have clarity, and you might not feel strong, and you might feel fucking disempowered right now, and you might feel like you're going backwards right now. But you can also acknowledge the fact that you know that from your experience that everything does always work out for your highest good, even when everything has kind of fallen apart and shit like that. So that's kind of what they're saying with this. So anyway, I hope that this reading helped you guys. I hope you guys will have an awesome night.